I did get a chance to tap back into that USFL, man. All right. The Cats was out there balling again. And every once in a while, I try to make sure I tap in, right? Because especially with the way the XFL played out and literally seeing how many of those guys got signed and continue to get signed as well. That's the other part. I had to shift it to the USFL to just see, like, will that continue to happen? Will those dudes continue to get opportunities? And I will say, man, initial reaction once again, I love what they're doing. I think when you talk about the coaching that's there, it's a great opportunity for them because a lot of these dudes are NFL guys. Some of them have already had opportunities. Some are trying to get bigger opportunities. So when you watch them in expanded roles like C. Lake, for example, Carnell Lake used to coach here. He was just our DB's coach. He's the defensive coordinator now. And watching him in clutch situations and seeing what's his identity. Oh, see, like you a Tampa 2 guy and you a cover 3 guy. Okay, you like to sprinkle in some 1, but you really sit in these 2s. That's your vibe. Okay. Whereas when we talked about, him when he was here, that was more fire zone. We blitz and we aggressive. So it was just like, all right, that's your approach. But it was cool to see that. Todd Haley. We know he's been a head coach in this league before, but it's been a minute since we've seen him in that role again. Seeing him having to, I'm listening to Todd Haley get his special teams unit hype. I say, Lord, I forgot you actually knew about special teams because you missed the offense. You know what I mean? But it was just cool to see some of that dynamic as well. And then when I look at some of these players, I'm like, there's gonna be some dudes getting signed, man. Like just this element of watching them play legit football versus other NFL guys or NFL caliber guys, it does hit a little different. And it was funny because I was thinking about what TG said when we were joking about L. Bell coming back. And he was like, nah, man, you go get one of them XFL dudes or one of them USFL guys. And watching them play, you're like, yeah. Like, before I would call L. Bell right now, take one of these healthy cats that's running his rock hard, trying to, get his life, you know what I mean? Trying to get on. And it's like you could see that element of it. So I did like that, man. But as a whole, man, that shout out to the Memphis team, man. The Memphis Showboats, aka Little Pittsburgh, because they got all our former coaches down there, or a lot of them. We said Todd Haley, Carnell Lake, John Saxton. I like the vibe. I definitely like the vibe. But I just thought, man, as a whole, man, they're continuing to put out a good product, man. And at least for the game I was watching with Haley and them, they actually getting hot too. This is their 5th win in a row, bro. They started out bad. It was like 0-3. But they getting hot, man. They getting hot.
So you're saying there's a chance for a Haley comeback?
Low key, I was like,
I'm talking more of the league, but Steeler fans are low key thinking if Canada botches this up this season.
I had that thought process, bro.
Do you bring in Haley? What do you think Tomlin's relationship was like with him? No. Would he be open to bringing him back?
I think they would be open. I think the big thing would just be where Todd has grown in terms of off the field stuff, because obviously we know that kind of was underlying, right? And then just how he communicates with his players. And I can say this, from watching him in this game, I was shocked at how much he's grown. It was this one cat, man. It was their running back. He was nice, but he has a fumbling problem. He's like he leads the league in rushing. He's like dope as heck, but he keeps putting the ball on the ground. Haley ripped him. Oh my God. You can hear the mics. I'm like, I love this. That's the Haley I'm used to. But then what changed was Haley came back around. And he's like, you know what, man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have got on you like that, man. Sometimes I just get real reactive in the moment, man. But, we're both professionals. He's like talking. I was like, whoa, what? And it was like 3 other times throughout the game where he's like just so over the top. Like, man, I told you, man, this is what we do, man. I love this. I'm like, what? Like, Haley, you got a soft side right now? Like, whereas this, like, I'm used to I'm going to rip you out. And then after that, man, you just better figure it out on your own and get back in here. That's a part of what made Haley people kind of off on it. Because he didn't have this, like, best.
Not the best bedside man.
Right. Like, he's going to just say what it is. And you either can take that or you can't. But to see him shift into that, I was just like, man, if you start doing that, now you're not going to rock nowhere. You're not going to ruffle nowhere near as many people, nowhere near as many feathers. But you can't be the OC and you're ruffling the feathers of the starting quarterback, or y'all bumping because you talk a certain way. And this is the starting quarterback who is who he is. And you got to show some respect to that. But that's like some of the stuff when I thought back with Haley, whereas now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you don't get that. If this is the version that shows up, So I was kind of cool with it, man. I definitely thought of it. I was like, literally, I left out watching that game. I'm like, bro, between Haley and I was like, definitely C Lake, because C Lake has never been a coordinator at the NFL level. He's just been DB coach, position coach. I'm like, I can see C Lake, man, if he can keep doing this type of stuff, because it goes well for both coaches and players. For the players, you're like, man, this is a crazy situation. You didn't have a crazy training camp. We know you guys play in weird locations, but if you could produce in this scenario, we think you got a chance. Flip side, if you're a coach and you can get your team to get hot or produce in this level, you're like, man, we know you don't have the best group of talent. We know you don't have the best group of, oh, these guys are all smart guys. These guys are all physical guys. It's like, nah, you dealing with a little hodgepodge group, so to speak. So if you can get them understanding your concepts, playing fast, and you also have a good feel for calling it, that's also intriguing when you're talking about potentially giving a guy an opportunity. So that's why I'm like, with both of them dudes, I was like, yeah, I like this, man. Yeah. And it just so happened that they had the Steelers connection as well, man.
We talked about the weird timing of the USFL for the players, but it's weird timing in general for the coaches, both those leagues, XFL and USFL, because at that point when the XFL starting, and then same with the USFL, all the teams got their coordinators and coaches in line.
So it puts you in a situation where at best you
got to wait till like January or February.
Yep.
Or maybe mid-season if someone, because people do fire coordinators mid-season.
But I think you can go one of two ways. Your season ends, you can hop on as like an assistant, somehow get on the moving train. Or season ends, you wait till January, Black Friday or Black Monday, what we call it, see who gets got. And now from there, you've had a chance to sit on what you've grown and developed to. You also get a chance to see what the league has shifted to this year. What's the new theme? What's the new trend? And now when it's interviewing time,
the Mike McCarthy approach.
Right. And now when it's interviewing time, you ready, you got this, you going from there. Shoot, if you Haley, man, you've already been doing media. Shoot, during that little downtime, go cover NFL games. Talk about that, because it keeps you sharp, it keeps you into it, keeps your name active. And then from there, you got your opportunity.
Yeah. Cool. Good stuff, man.
I like it though, man. Nah, but salute them dudes though, man. Salute the USFL, man, and what they got going on, man.